Well, I was watching a video by the young Alex O'Connor, and he said something that actually stopped me because, well, it wasn't new, but actually I had the same thought when I was a young teenager. Have you ever had that happen to you? Clearly, it helps legitimize. Well, the first thing is you get annoyed and you think, oh, hold on a second, I thought of that a long time ago. And then you realize, actually, it's actually pretty cool because that means that other people are thinking the same thoughts that I'm thinking. Anyway, you might have seen the video, but it was about whether you are still you if you are born at a different time. And in fact, you being you is the result of being born at that time, at that location, within that culture, to those parents. And if any of those things change, circumstances change, it would not be you. And so we're defining an identity difference based upon the adjusting of even one of those variables. So he gave some pretty good examples, like, if you were born 150 years ago, or if you were born in a different, whatever, you know what I'm saying. In other words, well, what I had thought of at the time was that identity is not detachable from its conditions. But by the time I was about 15 or 16, I took it a little bit further. And so it was also, there was something in his video where he said, he was talking about ancestry, and he was saying, in the Middle Ages, I was this ethnicity, and in the Bronze Age, I was this ethnicity. And this was interesting because he used the word I as a form of continuation of identity through ancestry. And of course, that brings me to where the border of I actually is. And that reminded me again of what I took further by the time I think I was about 15 or 16. This concept of the self being largely created by a memory boundary. The memories that we do have versus the ones we don't have, which appear to exist in others that they seem to have that we don't. It becomes sort of autobiographically, what is I and what is not I, and then what is the other. In this particular case, the definition of I can be rewired. We can say, well, hold on a second, if I were born at this exact time and at this location that coincides with that other person, I would be them. And as a consequence, in that particular case, they are the possibility of me being born at that time and that location. And so in that sense, they are me. There is no extra gab-smacked substance living in the other person. You are that other person. In other words, what we call others is consciousness under different initial conditions. They are who I would have been if the starting variables of the universe were rearranged. And as a consequence, if that is true, when we are fighting each other and dehumanizing each other, we're actually killing ourselves. This for me increases compassion, reduces obviously the existence of free will, but does not remove agency. You still deliberate, you still reason, you still choose, but choosing is part of the chain, not outside of the chain.